Pause for a second, because what you're about to hear is not comfortable. It's not soft. It's not motivational in the way you're used. I'm too. This is the kind of truth people avoid, the kind they scroll past, the kind they don't want to hear until life forces them to. And by then, it's usually too late. You see, growing up has nothing to do with age. There are people who are 40 years old, still thinking like children, still avoiding responsibility, still running from reality. And then there are people who face truth early, who see things clearly, who accept what others deny. And those people, they move differently. They think differently. They act with precision. They don't wait for life to teach them lessons the hard way, because they've already learned them. Today, you're about to hear 15 brutal truths, not opinions, not theories. Truths, the kind that force you to grow, the kind that strip away illusions, the kind that reprogram how you see your life. And if you truly understand them, you won't be the same person after this. 1. No one is coming to save you. Let's start with the one most people avoid their entire lives. No one is coming to save you. Not your friends, not your family, not the system, not luck. You are not waiting for help. You are waiting for yourself. But most people don't accept this. They stay stuck, waiting for someone to notice them, to give them a chance to fix their situation. And while they wait, life keeps moving. Opportunities pass, time disappears, potential fades. The moment you accept that no one is coming, something powerful happens. You stop waiting, you start acting, you take responsibility, and responsibility is where real power begins. 2. Life is not fair, and it never will be. You were never promised fairness. And yet, so many people live as if they were. They complain about disadvantages. They compare themselves to others. They focus on what they lack. But fairness is irrelevant, because life doesn't reward fairness. It rewards action. Two people can start at completely different points. And the one who takes control, who adapts, who pushes, who refuses to stay down, will win, not because life was fair, but because they became stronger than their circumstances. The moment you stop expecting fairness, you gain an unfair advantage. 3. You are responsible for your life, even if it's not your fault. This one is hard to accept, because sometimes what happened to you wasn't your fault. You didn't choose your environment. You didn't choose certain setbacks. You didn't choose certain struggles. But here's the truth. It may not be your fault, but it is your responsibility. And that changes everything, because responsibility gives you control. Blame keeps you stuck. Responsibility moves you forward. You can spend years asking, why did this happen to me? Or you can ask, what am I going to do about it? One question keeps you trapped. The other builds your future. 4. Discipline will take you where motivation never can. Motivation feels good. It's exciting. It's powerful for a moment, but it doesn't last. And that's why most people fail. They depend on motivation. They act when they feel like it. They stop when it gets hard. Discipline is different. Discipline shows up when you don't feel like it. It works when it's boring. It continues when it's painful. Motivation starts the journey. Discipline finishes it. If you master discipline, you don't need motivation. 5. You become what you tolerate. Look at your life closely. Everything in it is something you've allowed. The disrespect, the bad habits, the excuses, the environment. Most people think life just happens to them, but in reality, they tolerate what they don't change. What you tolerate becomes your standard, and your standards, they shape your entire life. Raise them, and everything changes. Now you're starting to feel it. This isn't comfort. This is clarity, because these truths don't just motivate you. They confront you. They force you to look at your life differently. And we're just getting started. In the next part, we go deeper. We uncover the truths about time, people, failure, and identity. The ones that most people only understand after they've wasted years. 6. Time doesn't care about you. Time is not emotional. It doesn't slow down when you're confused. It doesn't wait when you're unprepared. It just moves every day, whether you act or not. every hour, whether you improve or not. And this is the brutal part. You are either using time or losing it. There is no pause button. Most people think they have plenty of time, so they delay, they procrastinate. They tell themselves they'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into months. Months turn into years, and suddenly they look back and realize nothing changed. Time is the only resource you can never recover. Money can come back. Opportunities can return. But time, once it's gone, it's gone. Respect time, or it will quietly erase your potential. 7. Nobody owes you anything. Not respect, not success, not opportunities. You are not entitled to anything, and that might sound harsh, but it's actually freeing, because the moment you stop expecting things, you start earning them. Most people walk through life expecting recognition. They think, I deserve better. I should be further ahead. People should notice me. But life doesn't respond to what you think you deserve. It responds to what you prove. You don't get what you want. You get what you earn. And once you accept that, you stop complaining. You start building. 8. Your environment is shaping you more than you realize. Look around you. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, the conversations you engage in, that is your environment. And whether you notice it or not, it's shaping your mindset, your standards, your habits, your future. If you're surrounded by negativity, you will think small. If you're surrounded by laziness, you will act slowly. If you're surrounded by people who settle, you will settle too. You don't rise above your environment, you adapt to it. And that means one thing. If you want to grow, you must be intentional about what surrounds you. 9. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of it. Most people fear failure. They avoid it, they run from it. They do everything they can to stay safe. But in doing that, they also avoid success. Because success is built on failure. Every mistake teaches you something. Every setback strengthens you. Every loss sharpens your thinking. But only if you face it. Failure is not a stop sign. It's a training ground. The people who win are not the ones who avoid failure. They are the ones who learn from it faster than everyone else. 10. You're not stuck, you're just comfortable. This one hits differently because it removes the excuse. Most people say, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. I can't move forward. But when you look closely, they're not stuck. They're comfortable. Comfortable with routine. Comfortable with excuses. Comfortable with staying the same. Because real change requires discomfort. It requires risk, uncertainty, effort. And most people would rather stay in a situation they don't like than step into one that feels uncomfortable. You're not stuck. You're choosing comfort over growth. Now pause again and be honest with yourself. How many of these truths have you been avoiding? How many times have you blamed time, blamed people, blamed circumstances, when deep down you knew what needed to change? This is where growth begins, not when things get easier, but when you see things clearly. Because in the final part, we go even deeper. We break down the last 5 truths, the ones that define identity, purpose, and legacy. The ones that separate people who stay average from those who take full control of their life. Now we reach the final layer, the truths that don't just challenge you, they redefine you. This is where most people turn away. But if you stay, you won't just feel motivated. You'll see your life differently. 11. You can't become better while staying the same. This sounds obvious, but most people try to do exactly that. They want a better life. With the same habits, they want success. With the same mindset, they want growth without change. But transformation doesn't work like that. You cannot upgrade your life without upgrading yourself. That means letting go of old behaviors, old excuses, old patterns, and that process. It's uncomfortable because you're not just changing what you do, you're changing who you are. 12. Most people are not thinking about you. This one frees you. If you truly understand it, most people are too busy thinking about themselves to think about you. That embarrassment you fear, that judgment you imagine, that pressure you feel, it's mostly in your head. People move on quickly. They forget, they focus on their own lives. So all that hesitation, all that holding back, all that fear of being seen. It's stopping you for no real reason. You're not being watched as much as you think. So stop living like you are. 13. You will lose people as you grow. Growth changes you. And when you change, not everyone will stay. Some people will misunderstand you. Some will feel uncomfortable around your progress. Some will disappear completely. And that hurts, but it's necessary, because not everyone is meant to grow with you. Sometimes growth requires separation. Holding on to people who no longer align with your direction will slow you down, and deep down, you already know who those people are. 14. Your thoughts control your reality. Everything begins in your mind. Your beliefs, your self-image, your inner dialogue. They shape your actions, and your actions shape your results. If you constantly think, "I'm not good enough, I can't do this, this is too hard," you will act in a way that proves it true. But if you shift your thinking, if you start believing, "I can improve, I can figure this out, I will find a way," your behavior changes, and so does your life. Your mind is either your greatest weapon or your biggest limitation. The choice is yours. 15. If you don't take control of your life, someone else will. This is the final truth, and it's the one that decides everything. If you don't take ownership of your life, something else will. Your environment, your habits, other people's expectations, society's standards, and before you realize it, you're living a life that doesn't even feel like yours. You're following paths you didn't choose, chasing goals you don't care about, living on autopilot. If you don't design your life, you will live by default, and default is where most people stay. Now stop and really take this in. These weren't just words. These were mirrors. Each truth showed you something about your habits, your mindset, your choices. And here's the reality. You can ignore this and go back to comfort, back to routine, back to excuses, back to waiting. Or you can use this moment right now as a turning point, because growth doesn't happen someday. It happens the moment you decide, "I'm done staying the same." Most people will hear these truths and do nothing. They'll feel something for a moment and then return to their old patterns. But a small percentage will act. They'll take responsibility. They'll face discomfort. They'll change their behavior. And those people, they don't just grow up faster. They separate themselves from the average completely. Now you know the difference. Now you've seen what most people avoid. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So if this opened your eyes, if this challenged your thinking, if this made you see your life differently, don't stop here. Subscribe to my channel now for more powerful insights on mastering your mind, breaking limitations, and becoming unstoppable. Because this is just the beginning.